Nice.
All right, cool guys. So thank you all for joining. We're really excited to kick off. We'll really wrap up Q2 here as we're ending Q2. Today's the last day, and kick off Q3. So we really just wanted to do a quick recap of Q2 and our accomplishments. What business we took care of in Q2. Share a little bit about NFT NYC from last week, and then share our plans from for Q3 and what our goals are and what we intend on releasing for you guys. And we're definitely looking for your feedback at the end. And if you have any questions, we'd certainly love to take them. So yeah, let's kick it off. Srini, do you want to kick off the Q2 wrap up?
Sure, yeah, I can do that. Hey, everybody. Thanks for taking time and joining today. So, yeah, as Tyler mentioned, we finished our second quarter this year, and over the last 3 months, we launched our NFT like Bear Hunt game in beta for all NFT holders. Yeah, as well as you guys remember the Inferno drop that was a reward for completing the game, and also a badge as well for those who completed. So which also helped us to get some more feedback on the game. And while the game engineering team added new levels to the game, as you have guys seen and played them, and also the final boss battle that has taken a good amount of work for the team to complete these new levels, and also adding some new weapons through that. uh, and some of these weapons will get unlocked later on as we get closer to the launch of the leaderboard competition. And with that beta launch, and I think beginning of April, right? We've been working on that final game, which went live on 27th last month. It's been a critical moment for us, where we launched Bear Hunt for all our community who are holding our NFTs to play, and also with that, introducing the new Bear NFT collection as well. So again, the Bear NFT, they look awesome. I hope you guys are enjoying the NFTs, and there are a lot of things planned for them as part of the utility. Like we introduced uh, a way for bears to become a playable character, that is by hibernating them for 30 days. But again, we are going to use this hibernation feature in the future as well, and we are looking at ways how we can use that to reward our strong holding community members, right? So the first one is going to be that once you finish 30 days of hibernation, you will be able to use them as playable characters. But when that will be ready, we'll announce it closer to when it is going to be available. uh, and uh, and with that Bear NFT launch, and the game launch, largely this month has been focused on NFT NYC. We wanted to use that conference to uh, get more attention to Bullieverse. So with that, we did a big billboard advertisement that ran for the week when the NFT NYC is happening. Got a lot of great feedback from a lot of people. I'm sure Tyler will share more on that as well. And within the conference also, we showcased our what is the future games that could come, which is, as you guys should have seen, some of the videos I see we posted in Discord as well, right? So the multiplayer game promos with a few other collections as well, just to show our vision there, right? Like where we're heading uh, from here. And uh, and also through the conference, we have met a lot of other Web3 projects, made good connections, and largely this week we've been in talks with all those, following up and trying to work out ways how we can collaborate with them. So a bunch of things from this will become fruitful, right? And eventually you'll know things that are coming out of this whole conference, what happened there. So that's pretty much on the Q2. Largely, like the focus was on the Bear Hunt, Bear NFT launch, and promotions around the game itself. So leading in now, stepping into the next quarter, we want to double down on like from here we got this game and we want to focus our energies on hitting our KPIs. So this week, largely the team side, we spent a good amount of time regrouping, working on our OKRs, our go-to-market strategy, put some KPIs for ourselves for this quarter, largely focused on getting more players on board and use the opportunity that right now where we are with respect to having one game live and we are working on another one, but at the same time we also get a lot of interest from existing projects and protocols in this space, so we could leverage where we are right now and use them to establish our brand, get more players on board, and kind of grow our market share within this web3 space, right? So that's pretty much going to be the focus for this quarter. With that, we will be distributing the land passes and the mint passes that are like Arbol holders got rewarded through this quarter as well. And also there is going to be renting, which we largely talked about last year, but the team has done a good amount of work there again. That is going to go live along with the competitions, because you, when you rent it, you also want to have players who are going to take that and use them to play in the competitions, right? So the mechanics for the leaderboard competition is being worked out at the moment, but the tech for the renting is largely there. Like we got the contracts and the user interaction side of things pretty much nailed out, largely getting closer to working on completing the leaderboard side of mechanics and then putting things together. So that is going to roll out this quarter as well. Along with this, we're also looking at leveling up NFTs, which is one of the core themes discussion we had in the last month, particularly with respect to how we can reward our OG Bull NFT holders, and this leveling up system is being worked out in such a way that those who are playing our games and those who are renting their NFTs, either ways, whoever is interacting and using their NFTs, how like the ecosystem or in the benefit of the ecosystem. So we want to reward them, right? So that's pretty much uh, what is going to what we are anticipating with the leveling up system is going to bring on board. So that is being worked out, and along with that, we will also continue our efforts on like building out the next games that we want to launch, which is primarily the focus is going to be on the multiplayer battle royale game. But at the same time, we also don't want to rush that. We want to build a very premium game, and we also taking a slightly different approach from traditional gaming space, right? So we want to roll out in smaller chunks and build on top of that. And also at the same time, there is good amount of work that needs to be done on creating an economy along with the game that helps us in pushing out a premium web3 gaming product. So this quarter, I think, like largely the focus is also going to be on that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much what we intend to do. And one other key rollout that's going to happen is also a marketplace. And the reason why it is important for us is, as you guys know, you trade your uh, bull NFTs or buy some of the weapons like Inferno or the Freedom Suit that we dropped, or the quad bike. So these NFTs are like you trade them on OpenSea, and we get royalties about 2.5% from there, and OpenSea charges 2.5%. And we want to roll out our own marketplace and also bring in utility for bull tokens, which you can use the bull tokens to trade these assets. And at the same time, instead of paying OpenSea the royalty fees, we want those fees, like save the cost for our community. At the same time, the fees goes to the DAO treasury, and then again it in turn enables to be captured by the bull token holders, right? So that's one of the key products that being worked on right now, and having our own marketplace and building this set of a universe of games. So these all things will come together. I think this is going to be one of those key, heads down building phase where we have these leveling up system coming, these staking and sorry, these renting and leaderboard competitions coming up, the marketplace launching. So yeah, these things are going to come together, and we are going to be well placed by end of this quarter with all the things that we need, right? So yeah, that's largely from my side. Uh, I think I haven't missed anything, but yeah, Tyler, Moen, if you guys want to add anything here, feel free to.
No, I think that was basically everything that we're planning on covering.
Cool. Yeah,
So
Tyler,
go ahead.
anything specific to NFT Conf NYC you want to mention? Like how's it?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, so let's talk about NFT NYC for a little bit. It was a crazy experience from a bunch of different angles. Want to give a quick shout to we got Chief Degen.eth in the audience right now. We actually met him at the booth, and he bought a bowl and is playing the bear hunt, I think, as we speak. So congrats and welcome, Chief DJ. Um, so
Awesome.
that right there is part of the reason why we go to these events and conferences is to get more visibility and more eyeballs on our project, not just from an investment front, from a partnership front, but also just from a general community and player base. It's a way that we can really have a hands-on experience for people that don't have bulls while we're still, ramping up the free-to-play version of the game. People can play it firsthand, and uh, Chief Degen could probably tell you he had the same reaction that most everyone else has when they play our game at these conferences. That we're miles ahead of almost everybody else in terms of gameplay in the Web3 space. There's not many other games out there largely that can compete with our tech, that have a playable game that has utility through our play to mint function for the bears. A lot of these other games are either being built or are on much lower tech and really aren't that fun. So just hats off to our team for creating an amazing product. But yeah, the largely the conference was a really good experience. I want to give a shout out to everybody that helped me, because I'm not an event planner. That is not my background, but that is largely what I had to do for NFT NYC, and I needed a lot of help along the way. So to all the guys on our team that helped me, pack, unpack, help get things sorted with the NFT NYC people, big shout out to you guys, but also to our community members that came, that won some tickets in our events and came. Uh, and I think it speaks volumes that while we gave away some tickets to the event to our community, we told those guys that they could do whatever they want. They had no obligation to stay at our booth. They could go venture off and experience uh, the other projects that were there to present and do really whatever they wanted. And, for the most part, they wanted to hang out with us at our booth and not only just, hang around and have a good time, but they were actually talking to people at the conference and spreading the good word of believers and sharing our vision. So seeing that was really cool when there were so many other distractions and things around, and parties and bars and things to go do. I mean, you're in New York City, and they decided to hang out with us and help us, spread the word. I think that speaks volumes of what we're building here. So, Brad and D Bly, I see you guys are in here. Big shout out to you guys. Thank you guys so much for your help at the conference. But the conference, largely was 2 days of us presenting. We had a booth with the bear hunt set up. We chopped down the game to just the boss battle, and we had it up on a big screen, and we were drawing huge crowds of people watching. We got a ton of great feedback on the game itself, on what we're building. We have a lot of people that are interested, and as Srini was saying, we're trying to kind of get organized this week and run through all of the people that we met. That's probably the hardest part of the conferences, both the Portugal conference and this one is we've met so many great people that want to get involved and want to integrate and things like that. And it's honestly difficult to keep track of all of those people because it truly is that many that want to get involved. So really using this week to get organized and sift through the Telegram chats that have been opened and the WhatsApps and the LinkedIn's and the business cards and really set up the pipeline for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks for me at least to kind of sift through and find out who's going to come on board and whatnot. But it was a lot of fun. The conference we hosted or co-hosted rather the yacht party on Tuesday night, which will have some video footage. The Subducks team had like a professional camera guy there, and they took 40 gigabytes worth of video. So we'll chop some of that up for you guys and put that out as a promo. It was a ton of fun. There were a lot of great people there, a lot of good memories made. We sailed down the Hudson River past the New York skyline and stopped at the Statue of Liberty. We docked there not docked, we anchored out in the bay for maybe 20 or 30 minutes at night, and it was all lit up. It was really cool. But actually, funny story, real quick. We thought almost that we weren't going to get to sail. For about the first hour, we were kind of just docked, tipping back and forth, wondering why we weren't moving. And we didn't start moving until about an hour and 45 minutes on the boat. And that's because the captain decided not to show. So we had to sub in a captain and wait for them to show up. But luckily, we did get to set sail, and it was a great time. And then the next 2 days were us presenting at the booth. And then Thursday, uh, just like we're doing right now, me, Srini, and Moen had a nice 10-minute speech on Web3 gaming and how we can convert more Web2 gamers to Web3. And we got to share our vision with a crowd of, I would say, probably about 100, 150, maybe a little bit more even. It was kind of dark in the crowd, hard to tell. But there was a really good turnout for our speech, and it went really well. I think we have some footage of that and should be getting some professional footage from NFT NYC. So once we have our hands around that and it's all cleaned up for you guys, we'll certainly share. But that was an amazing experience for us, and Moen and Srini did a great job. So yeah, that's largely the event in a nutshell. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good connections, a lot of good parties. I mean, New York City is a great city for an event like that. So it was a good trip. Um, so that's really NFT NYC. We wrapped up Q2. We shared our plans for Q3. I guess, guys, if there's nothing else, we can open it up to questions from the community. If you guys have any questions on our plans for Q3, anything about NFT NYC, things in Q2 that you want clarity on, now's your opportunity to raise your hand. We'll bring you up and you can ask. Bringing up Al.
Tyler, I see Arun also in the audience. Not sure if he wants to come on stage.
Oh yeah, I'll bring him up.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I took some time to set up my um, Discord. For some reasons, it was giving me some issues. That's why I was late. But yeah, I think you've pretty much updated everyone on the updates. So the next quarter for me is quite exciting. I'll just spend 30 seconds on that if that's okay.
Sure.
Nothing on top of what Srini and um Tyler's already mentioned. We're largely focusing on the economic model for the next quarter. So we've spent, I think, this quarter has been largely about product, and I think we've done quite well on that front. We will be building the product through the next 3 months as well. Don't get us wrong, but um, that part of the product will largely contribute to the economic model. So I think that's going to be critical, and it's going to be continuous market testing of how we go about doing it, and fine tuning the model until we feel that it's sustainable, and then from that point blast. So I think that's got to be the story for the next three months at least. Yeah, so pretty exciting Q3 coming up. I'll stop there. I know we've got questions coming up.
Cool. Thanks,
Can you
Arun.
guys hear me?
Yeah, Al, we
Yeah.
got you, buddy.
Oh, hi.
What's
I
going
just have
on?
one question. You know the racing with the quad bikes. Is that going to be in Q3?
Most likely not. I mean, it also depends upon how we are progressing with the like the battle royale that is in, just started putting things around that. So yeah, I would say most likely in Q4.
Okay.
And Al, we have a few ideas for the quad bike, right? So it's not going to be just for like a racing game. It's not going to be just for like any particular thing. I mean, the great thing about NFTs is that there's like utility across the board. So since we are like a product team that's going to be launching out several IPs and a metaverse, you're going to be able to utilize the quad bike in many different experiences and ways. We were even, we have a lot of like fun ideas. We could do mini games, with just the quad bikes. We could have like a full-fledged racing game. We could have quad bikes in the battle royale game itself to utilize getting around the map, things like this. So, it won't just be like, oh, when's the quad bike game coming out? Quad bike game, right? You'll be able to utilize it, and this goes the same for like the Inferno and all the other like suits and other weapons that we're going to be rolling out too. They're going to be utilized across the board. So that's just what makes them so like important.
Right. Thank you. That's really good, because I was playing earlier and I was wondering, like, it'd be great to integrate, like, if the maps were a lot wider spread and it required a vehicle to get from one place to another, and then you had to get like out to do a certain task and then back on, that sort of thing. So it's good that it's not just for the races. I'm looking forward to that, to be honest.
Oh yeah, no, it's as soon as we get these leaderboard competitions rolled out, which is like the next major step, right? We want to make sure that it's a sustainable model that works for everyone, and that we can utilize across the board, going through like several different game types, right? And as soon as that happens, we can. I mean, the sky's the limit. We'll create modes, like just hilarious, fun modes for racing, and it can all be monetized.
I've just got one last question while I remember, because I usually forget. That's why I don't join AMAs sometimes. Will it be similar to like how Halo had a forge, and like you could make your own racetracks like in the actual game mechanics itself?
Yeah, I mean, so the idea, right, for at least as far as the metaverse goes, there's going to be the snow crash system, which is what we were planning to utilize for user created content. So creating racetracks and other like indie games like that. Yes, players would be able to create their own tracks and so on. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question.
I'll mute my mic as well, so someone else can speak. But yeah, thank you for taking my questions.
Of course. Thanks, Al. Let's see, who else do we got? Matt Force, the YouTube guru. Bring him up. What's up, Matt?
Hey, Matt.
So one thing I find a little bit tricky is to have a set of cows minted just to breed, right? So I think I mean I'm not sure if that's going to be the future. To be honest, I think we will have similar functionality in terms of increasing the number of NFTs within the system, but it will not be in that particular way. So we're thinking of something slightly different. But you will hear from us in the next few weeks on that for sure. And yeah. Yeah. So that's definitely, we are working on that in terms of increasing. I mean, as demand starts coming in, and we constantly waiting for to ramp up demand, because we need to first prove the economic model within a small set of users or players and then blast it out to a wider audience. We've already spoken to a bunch of partners who can just give access to about 3 million Web2 players, and we can bring a bunch of them in. But we are pausing on that at this stage because it's not because we don't want to grow. It's just that we want to grow at a pace that we can keep the economy intact and not have a Axie or a Steppen like kind of a breaking point, right? So we don't want to get that. So we want to try and scale it in a fashion such that we know that the economy is in control, and that will definitely happen through the NFT expansion. But we may not be using the term breeding. We may not be using the cows for that, but we are definitely thinking on those lines. Rini?
Yeah, sure. So it is going to be in the bull token only. Yeah, that's largely what's going to be the like which gives entry to the competitions, right? And some of those revenues will be going to the rent, like NFT holders who are renting their bulls, so which will be in bull tokens as well.
Your videos are great, man. You've done a great job with those.
Yeah, definitely. I think even the floor puzzle one you did, right? I even used myself. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Really appreciate for putting the content out there. I don't know if I can ask anything more, to be honest. I'm so impressed with all that what you produced, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
All right. Mr. Homewood.
What's up? What's up? Can you hear me?
Yo.
What's up, Brad?
Yeah.
How you guys doing today?
Well,
I'm living large.
we're all doing pretty good. Yeah.
All right. Well, I got like three-ish questions. The first one regarding like the bears. So I know you can see on OpenSea how many have been minted, but do we know how many have been actually not, claimed through the game, not minted?
You mean that are already played? But
Yes,
not.
like how many bulls have been won through the game so far, but not necessarily minted?
I think it was close to about 2,500.
Okay.
Yeah, but not all of them are minted, which is probably it could be that large holders wants to mint, in one transaction. So
That's
Well,
what I waited for.
that's what I was getting at was is there a way you can tell how many have been won, even though like the total number that have been won, like not the total number claimed and minted?
yeah, so that's it right now by looking at some of the functions on the contract, probably there is a way to figure that out, but it's not very straightforward. But yeah, I think I get what you mean, right? Probably we can go in the website or somewhere like how many bears have already been. Yeah.
I was just curious about that, but then I was also wondering, will the bears be able to be rented too, or just the bulls?
Like the bear should be as well once they have the utility in place.
Okay.
Yeah, and they are game
And
ready.
then what is the plan for bears? You know, for people who are just holding NFTs but don't pay attention and have no idea that any of this is going on, and those bears are going back to the treasury. I heard, but like, is there a plan for those?
So yeah, I mean, let's say we have 10,000 bears to be minted, right? And if we only get to 8,000, or if there are any bears that have not been claimed, the plan was to put them in the DAO treasury, and they'll be part of the renting pool, and the rewards will go back to the DAO treasury. And again, it's a pool that belongs to the community, right?
Right.
Or we could even auction that or sell them to our partners that could come on board in the future. Could be gaming guilds, and
Okay. Then I just had one final question, and it was more about the land sale and stuff like that. Are we going to be able to use bull, arbol, or staked arbol, or what all will we be able to use to buy land essentially?
Uh, so the land sale itself, like the structure of it, we haven't finalized it yet, right? And
Okay.
also largely with the long, like we also looking at from growth perspective, we want to onboard some other NFT communities onto our games, right? Grow our community base mainly on the player side as well from here, and it makes much more interesting to uh, launch the land sale. So that's, but the overall structure of it, like what you can use to buy, as we mentioned previously, you can use bull tokens, and you can use your art bull tokens as well to participate in that. But again, it's probably, if you have a land pass, you got to be able to use, right,
Okay.
the bull tokens here.
Yeah, and I think you can't use from what we talked before. If you have your RBUL or bull token staked, it's not usable. If I'm correct, it has
Yeah.
to be unlocked.
The token itself should be unlocked, but if you hold Arbol, you could use that.
Yeah, RBUL will be used for land sale.
Good thing I didn't stake all of mine.
Same.
All right. Well, that's all I had. And also just had to say how much fun it was with all you guys in New York. I mean, I'm back to work this week, and work is definitely nowhere near as fun as not working and hanging out up there. So I want to go back.
Same, man. I think LeBull's probably still there, right? LeBull?
Nah, he's leaving.
Did he leave already?
Yeah.
It was a great time.
Yes, it was. All right. Well, I'm going to mute myself. Thanks again, you guys, for everything. And yeah, we'll be talking.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much
Brad.
for your support in the conference, like, standing there and talking to other community members. You and Debly both, like, did great work there, spreading the word about Bullieverse, right? So we all are in our community, like Matt doing the YouTube videos, or you guys coming over and talking to other people. I think with the way things are there at the moment in the market, and also the way Web3 gaming is looked at from externally from outside, right? It is what we need to do right now. Like, spread the word, show what we got, and get more uh, believers on board, right? And build this, one new community member at a time. So thank you so much.
Yeah, Brad and Deep Light were just blowing people up out there, just running them down, cornering them, telling them about believers.
The bullies.
Man, the bullies. I was out at like 4 a.m. in a drunken stupor trying to eat hot dogs after the yacht party, talking to like guys out on the street about the thing. It was a lot of fun, man. It's crazy. Right in front of the massive billboard.
Yeah. Ragnar, saw you had your hand raised for a second there. Not sure if you still want to come up, but we have nobody else hands raised at the moment. Al wants to come back up. Bring Al.
Remembered one of his other questions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say as well, like I just checked it earlier. I've been in project for just over a year now. I've been here since Mint, and although I probably should have worded things a little better back then. I think we're on good terms with everyone, and I just wanted to say I've appreciated everything that the community's done. As far as NFT projects go, I've done research for over a year now, and I've not found anything close to what you guys are trying to build. And I've learned to be patient through it. And to be honest, I just wanted to say thanks for everything, and I appreciate all that you're doing for us.
Thanks, Al.
We
That
appreciate
really
you, man.
means a lot, man.
I know that wasn't a question, but I just wanted
Nah,
to say that.
we appreciate it, man, and it's it's interesting that you say that too, because patience is something that even us on the team, but we as the team are learning and work through every day ourselves, because it's, when you're building something like what we're building, and I say this to people all the time, like, we're using a complex technology. This is the first time that, Web3 and Web2 gaming are colliding, and it's the first time that smart contracts are being integrated into games. And so we really are pioneers on the forefront of a brand new technology. And so while we do our best to, project timelines and to, hit targets, there's a lot of bumps in the road, because this is all unforeseen territory. This is all brand new to everybody. We're kind of venturing into the dark, just alongside everybody else. And so we just thank you all for your patience and support, because I know it's certainly not easy sometimes when you're waiting on a big update and it gets pushed back a little bit. Certainly can be frustrating, but you guys have been really great through all of that. So just thank you so much for being patient and hanging with us. And I know that where we're going and what we're going to build is so great, that it's not the little bumps in the road here are going to be, they're going to be nothing in the rearview mirror once we get there. So just thank you guys so much.
Yeah, you look at these Q2 like summaries, or like Q2 and then into Q3s, like the quarterly summaries, and you're like, wow, it felt like, just you're here every day looking for more and more and more and more, right? But it's a process. But then you look back at the quarter and you're like, oh yeah, that was like kind of a lot of stuff, right? Like, that was a lot. So, and then going into Q3, it's going to be the same thing. And as we build the model and get the foundation right, things will start to snowball, and the momentum will pick up, and then it'll just fly. So, and you'll see it kind of, just to preface real quick, like what to expect and how to expect it is, you look at how the bear hunt was launched, right? It was just like piece at a time, utility at a time, right? Like first it was the beta just to like get a feel, and then it was the utility, which was the bear hunt boss fight to mint, right? So there was like a utility aspect. Then you're rolling out leaderboards and earnings and all of this other stuff next, and that's coming. And that's going to be kind of like the bread and butter of that project, right? And you'll see it all kind of click and make sense when that happens. So the same thing's going to happen for like the PvP game, right? We're not going to sit here and you're not going to wait for 2 years to have some full-fledged PvP game, like Fortnite or something built out, and then finally it's here. It'll come in pieces. It'll come with utility. It'll come in stuff that makes sense, that's usable, and then it will be a final end game product. And it's gonna roll out, and it's gonna be exciting every time, and it's gonna be great when it all comes together.
Absolutely. I think one thing I would like to add there is, if you look back, right, the way we worked differently with respect to the other traditional, how a traditional game studio pushes a game out, like we made community part of it. Like it's when we say team, you're all part of the team, right? You give a lot of good feedback, produce content, help others to come make it easy for them, and these are all things that adds value, right? Instead of putting a big product out there, we want to follow that same approach, make community real part of it, and get your constant feedback, refine. And we need to do that as a and also take the advantage of being the underdogs in this space, right? Like when we got the model right, when we get our games right, and we will be ready to take over, right? Like we the scaling, as Arun mentioned, like we have the potential there. we have partner network and players who are interested to come on board once the economics are there. So thank you everyone for sticking with us, as Tyler mentioned. Al, you want to come again? Tyler, can you bring?
Al.
Yeah, there was just one last question, and that is: have you thought about doing some sort of conference or event in England?
Good question.
Yeah, we've looked at a couple. We're probably going to do a couple more events. Probably on a smaller scale than we did at NFT NYC. Like, I think, when we look back on Lisbon and NFT NYC, we did pretty big sponsorships for both those conferences. And I think that all we really need is, a small space there where we can set up one or two screens and let people play the game, because the gameplay speaks for itself. So I think we're going to be certainly looking to do a couple of conferences, definitely in Europe, London, obviously where the team is. If we find a good one, we'll do it. The NFT NYC team is doing one in London in November, but I don't think that we'll be doing that one. But if we find a good one, I don't see why we wouldn't, since Srini and Arun are already over there. If that answers your question, we don't have anything planned yet, but we're certainly not against it.
Yeah, it could all change in future. That's fine. I'm very happy with everything. I'm sure I'll think of 20 questions after I've gone off the call, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'm satisfied.
All right, guys. Thank you all for joining and taking 50 minutes out of your Thursday here. Keep looking for us on event or announcements for us on Discord and Twitter, and we're going to keep working hard for you guys behind the scenes. If you need anything, let us know in Discord, and have a great end of your week and great weekend. For those of you celebrating 4th of July, have a great time. Be safe, and just thanks again, everyone. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.